We're going to go through an alpha tapping exercise that you can use or lead others through if necessary to stay in high consciousness and deal with any of those intense emotions that you or those around you might feel during this festive period. So I'm Sebastian, and I'm here with Ishi.
Hi, everyone. Hi. So, why is it that people find this time of year difficult or challenging?
Well, like with many times in life, I think there are always times when things don't always appear or aren't always as high consciousness as we think they appear, or they don't run as smoothly as we think they are generally going. And one of the things behind this is when we get into that place of planning, we have to visit by me, which obviously naturally lowers our level of consciousness. And another thing is that family celebrations and festive events, they do bring out emotions. They bring out the good emotions, but sometimes they bring out the bad ones. There might be times that we're missing people that can't be there, or we might actually be reminded of times that we miss, or reminded of times that are actually quite bad, and that sort of starts to then bring out some of our programming. We also tend to have expectations, and we want things to be perfect, right? Because we want those people around us to be happy. We want everything to go to plan. Now this could be as the host, right? Because you've got lots of activities planned and lots of nice things. You put lots of effort in, so naturally you're going to want it all to go nice and smoothly. But it can also be, all the planning you have to do as a guest or visitor, like getting the family ready, remembering what you have to take, ensuring nothing's forgotten. And all of this, potentially subconsciously, will bring out a level of stress. Then what we also have to remember is that everyone else is kind of in the same place, but they probably haven't done the level of personal work that you've done, right? So they're going to have less self-awareness. They're going to have less understanding of how to manage their feelings. They're not going to have that level of emotional mastery. They're going to be unaware of things like comfort zones and insecurities and the concept of our self-protection mechanisms and falling back into our survival archetypes, right? Which we're all aware of, and we catch ourselves falling into them and can pull ourselves out, right? And on top of that, there's going to be things like fears of old conflicts, like that fear of Aunt Sophie bringing up that thing she brings up every year, right? But those are going to create like a sense of anticipation and uncertainty that put people into a heightened level of awareness throughout that time. So despite these celebrations and gatherings being fun times and exciting times, lots of family around and lots of great things to be doing, there's going to be that level of subconscious psychology that's potentially lowering people's levels of consciousness, right? Or just creating that almost cliff edge because of the anticipation where things could suddenly drop off quite easily, right? So this is why it's really important to find ways to remain in as high a level of consciousness as we can, being compassionate with ourselves in the process, but not only for ourselves, but so we can keep that average level of consciousness within the family gathering as high as possible to benefit those around us.
Yeah. No, that all makes a lot of sense. And the other thing that can affect our level of consciousness as well is we're out of our normal routines. So we're eating and drinking differently than we would normally. Our sleep, maybe perhaps we're not sleeping as well. We are not meditating as much as we normally would, and maybe perhaps not exercising. So all these things are routines that keep us in high consciousness are probably being compromised, and therefore that affects how we might be feeling around that time as well.
Yeah. And actually also everyone else will be out of their routines. And again, they're less aware of the impacts that's going to have. So yeah, excellent point. So why don't you take us through the exercise now?
Okay. So the tapping exercises that we're going to be doing, it's in two parts. The first one is alpha tapping, which is going to take us into an alpha brainwave state, and this connects us with our inner world so we can tune into our emotions more effectively. And the second part will be the releasing of that intense emotion that we might be feeling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, and I'm going to invite everyone to tap along with me. I will give some instruction as I'm tapping. So for example, the first round I will tap through with the points. And so anyone who's not familiar with tapping can just tap along with me and see how they get on. If you're in doubt about anything, then just follow along, trust the process, and just surrender to what might happen. And so I will start with the first part, which is the alpha tapping. So if you'd just like to make yourself comfortable, and we are going to start tapping on the first point, which is the eyebrow point. And what I'm going to invite you to do is take a deep breath in for a count of 6 with 1 point. And then with the next point, we'll be breathing out through our mouth for a count of 6. And we're going to alternate through the points like that. So we start on the eyebrow point. Invite you to take a deep breath in. Side of the eye and out. Under the eye, in. Under the nose, out. Chin, in. Collarbone, out. Under the arm, in. Top of the head, out. We'll go through the next 2 points, next 2 rounds in silence. So, one more round. Okay. I'm now going to invite you to tune into the emotional intensity that you've been feeling, and just locate where in the body you might be feeling it. It might be in your head, it might be in your throat, in your chest, in your stomach, or somewhere else. So just take a moment to locate where that is and what you notice about it. How intense is it? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most intense and 0 being not at all, whereabouts on that scale do you feel the intensity? And once you've got a feel of that, I'm going to invite you to tap along with me You can breathe at a rate that's normal to you, but we're going to tap through the points, and I'm just going to invite you to focus on that feeling as we're tapping. So we start again with the eyebrow point, and just tune in, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, on top of the head. Just take a deep breath in and release. And tune in to that emotional intensity now and where you located it. What do you notice about it? How is it different? Has the intensity changed? Has it moved? Anything you notice about it is absolutely right. So I invite you to focus on how it is now. And once you've got a feel of that, we're going to tap again, as before. Eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and top of the head. Invite you to take a deep breath in and release. And again, tune into the emotional intensity. How is it now? What do you notice about it? How is it different? What is the intensity? Has it moved? You can do this exercise as many times as you like, just focusing in on the intensity and then tapping through the points while you're focusing on it. There is no hard or fast rules about how many rounds you can do, just whatever you need to get it to a point where you feel more in balance, perhaps less stressed, less distressed. The only thing I would say is if you're going to be doing tapping and like all energy work is just to make sure you stay well hydrated as it helps process. You can do this as many times as you like through the day, and you can even do it with your friends and family. It's quite a simple exercise and incredibly effective for helping reduce the amount of stress we might be feeling and therefore raising vibration. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you all have a wonderful festive period. And from Sebastian and myself, thank you for watching, and with love and gratitude.